A very good afternoon, a very good morning to Africa, and a happy, happy Father's Day to every father around the globe. I hope you are doing well and you are enjoying this day. It is a special day for you, and don't let anybody tell you that it's not that special. Just know that it is special. And if you can, if there is nobody to spoil you, please spoil yourself. Do it, go all the way. When it comes to Mother's Day, this is something that is quite interesting. When it comes to Mother's Day, whether there is somebody who is doing it for us or not, we make sure that we do something for ourselves. So take this moment to appreciate yourself as a father, and especially to men who are present in their children's lives. Present fathers, stepped in fathers, these are fathers who are taking care of kids they did not bear. Stepfathers, the so-called stepfathers. I call them step-in fathers. I really want to wish you more blessings. May you be successful in everything that you do so that you can take care of your children. It should be hard, being a man, being a father to a daughter in this day and age. I mean, given the stats, I'm just going to go through the stats right now here. Looking at South Africa and Zimbabwe, it's quite sad. It's quite sad what is going on, and it should be so scary being a father to a girl child with such numbers. As reported here in South Africa, these are child rape and murder statistics in South Africa reported by the Democratic Alliance between 2023 and 2025. That's like over the last 6 financial years, 2018, 2019 to 2023, 2024, more than 106,000 child rape cases have been reported in South Africa, averaging approximately 1,472 cases per month, or about 48 cases per day. In 2022 to 2023 alone, 18,108 child rape cases were reported to the South African Police Service, SAPS. And recent crime statistics indicate that at least 40% of crimes reported against child are rape, with about 42 children sexually abused every day in South Africa. The majority of victims are girls, with 90.1% of child rape victims being female. Let's move to Zimbabwe. I'm looking at Zimbabwe here from stats from the Chronicles and Newsday. Zimbabwe has seen a sharp rise in child abuse and sexual violence cases. In 2023, nearly 20,000 child abuse cases were recorded nationwide, with a significant portion involving rape. The National Prosecuting Authority of Zimbabwe, NPAZ, reports that at least 30 rape cases are reported daily, most involving children. And these statistics are not they're just approximates, because there are quite a number of those that are not reported. You would find that people in the villages or in some families, they would try to cover up what happened. And here I'm just going to read something that Harrison wrote a while ago. I'm a girl in South Africa and I'm afraid. This is on the 27th of May this year. Olorato Mungale did everything right. She told her friends where she was going. She planned her safety. She promised to send her location. She was on her very first date with a man in a white VW Polo. She never sent that location. 2 hours later, her friends used a Find Me app. They found her phone, her bag, but not her. Later in Lombardy, a community watched that same Polo drop a parcel, suspicious, wrapped, and heavy. Inside was her body. Olorato was gone. Unalived, murdered, tossed away like she meant nothing. And yet she was everything. A vet student, a dreamer, someone's daughter. She was careful, she was smart, she was hopeful, and now she's gone. But Olorato isn't the first, and that's the part that shocks us, because her name joins a long-blooded list. Uyinene went to the post office. She never came out. Karapo Mukwena loved a man. he burned her to ashes. Chekhofatshopule was 8 months pregnant. He hung her from a tree. Riva Steenkamp locked herself in a bathroom. She was shot through the door. Sibongile Zenzile went to work. She never made it home. So I'm just going to end it here. You wrote this on your first book regarding the, GBV cases in South Africa. So today, as Father's Day celebrating you, and you are also a father to a girl child, how does this make you feel? And what was the thought around that when you were writing this as a father, as a man?
Thanks, Matarenda. It's quite scary, man, hearing the stats that you just read out regarding rape, GPV, murder, the way our girls, our sisters, our mothers are being killed, both in South Africa and in Zimbabwe. And I can imagine in Africa, if we start getting deeper and checking other countries, I'm sure the stats are probably the same, the same
That's
numbers,
right.
same figures. Um, as a father on this day where we are being celebrated, I think it's quite something which is scary and concerning when you're seeing things like this happening in front of our eyes, in our neighborhoods, in Johannesburg and Gauteng, South Africa, where we are raising a girl child, where I'm raising a girl child. So for me, what happened to Olorato was something which made me realize more than ever before how dangerous is South Africa, how dangerous is Africa, how dangerous is our community, because I don't think it's a South Africa thing. I don't
That's right.
think it's a Johannesburg thing. I believe it's a men thing. I believe it's a men problem. And it's not something which is just because it's happening too much in South Africa. We don't know what's happening in Kenya, in Nigeria, in
That's right.
Ghana.
That's right.
But trust me, it's an issue which is inherent in all these countries, these communities. And it goes back to us as men looking at ourselves in the mirror and asking ourselves this question: what are we doing as men? What are we doing as fathers to nip this in the bud, to try to understand what exactly is the cause of this? Why are we a violent society? Why are we a people, or why are we men who find it so effortless to kill a woman? Why should I find it so easy to end a woman's life? Why don't I have a conscience? Where is it coming from? Is it the way I was raised? Is it the way I was socialized? Is it the way that we have normalized, these abnormalities in our society? So it's a lot of things that really make me question our humanity as men, because we are quiet about it. Most of us are complicit in
Oh,
our
that's right.
silence. We are just like, no, man, it's not me. It's not me who did it. But if I'm quiet as a man and I'm not raising my voice, I'm abating, I'm aiding this whole pandemic. I am actually a part of the problem. So for
Yeah.
me, it's scary, man. It's a scary thought that I have a girl child that I have to raise. That's the real inspiration behind that poem, because I was like, man, this is a serious cancer, and I have a girl child who is gonna grow in this country. You know?
That's right. And it's the most scariest part is that the perpetrators, the people who are doing this, are people in our communities.
Yes.
Someone knows these killers. These killers are
Yes.
somebody's brother, someone's colleague. And sometimes it feels like people around those criminals will be making excuses. There is somebody who will actually go and pay bail for a criminal like that. Like, oh man, we have to pay their bail. This is my son. So it makes it difficult because criminals are not coming, they are not aliens, they are not coming from somewhere, they are within our communities. So
That's true.
my question is also that when are we going to go back to community raising the child when the community is infiltrated like this? Is it going to work like it used to back in the day?
It's difficult, Matarenda, because now to your point about families or the criminals being within our midst. goes back to this case of Colorado.
Yeah.
Remember very well, one of the suspects was actually hidden by, I think, by his mother. Imagine the mother chipping the guy like they're actually after you. Just hide my son. I was speaking to somebody and said, imagine you being a mother and you know very well
Mhm.
that your son is a murderer and your son killed somebody, your son killed an innocent girl, and then you protect them. What kind of a mother are you? What does that say about you as a person, about you as a family? Because I
Yeah,
think it's a tip
that's a
of the
good
ice.
question.
It's a tip of the iceberg. It's probably one in many. It's one in many mothers or one in many fathers who are protecting their children. Now, if you're going to come back to me and ask me the question, what are we doing as a society to try to fight GBV? It's going to be difficult to fight it
Yeah,
if we ourselves are protecting each other. Now, how am I going to actually fight this thing if the root is in the family, if the root is in the community, if the
yeah,
root is in within the spaces where these people are socialized? Because now, if I am condoning this, if I'm protecting my son, whom I know is a murderer, how
hmm,
then are we going to deal with this problem? Which means to say we are pretty much hiding and concealing a root of the problem. We will never be able to achieve any victory over it because, trust me, the police can do so much. They can do so much, but the family is where it is the foundation. The kids are raised by families. The kids are not raised
that's
by
right.
SAPS. They're raised by the families. So now, if the family is the one which is saying, "My son, they're looking for you," just hide. What's the point?
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, I get you. And I think what you're saying is actually makes sense, that it's gonna be very difficult, because imagine a mother having to watch their son go to prison. But even in that moment of feeling like I am a mom, or I'm a father, or I'm a brother, whatever, we need to look beyond our relationship with the person, like their character. If they are a danger to the community, we need to report that. We need to make sure that they are arrested and spend time, whatever it takes. Even if the person is going to be hanged, it is what it is. They have to go
True.
through that, because there will be there will also be a problem even to the members of the family, because if you rape someone or accused of raping someone in the community, how can I trust you with my own daughter as your sister?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
difficult. It also goes to the conversation that I always have with guys. Whenever I pick up a certain school of thought, there are some guys who are on social media, like one who trended a couple of months ago, that when people were talking about child rape cases in South Africa, and he said, "You guys have no idea how sweet these sweet 15-year-olds are." It was a ghost account. It went viral on Twitter. And I'm thinking, there are people who are laughing about it, saying, "Oh, yeah, you can always go for these 17-year-olds, 18-year-old." When I hear a man talking like that, I don't want you near me, because
Yeah.
I have nieces, I've got a daughter. So the
You know,
protection of our children, it goes beyond the relationships that we have
yes.
with people.
Yes, it's true. Because I was talking to my partner the other day. We were talking, I think I saw a story in the Sunday World just this past week. It's about a taxi driver. In fact, it's about the driver of the school. These
Yeah,
taxi drivers who drops kids at school. Apparently, he raped one of the students. I think she is 16. So he
my
used
God.
to drop her and sometimes take her somewhere else, not drop her at her place and take her to his friend's place and rape her. And it made me say to her, it's so unsafe in this country, whether it's at school, whether it's with these drivers of the kids and these transports, whether it's the church, whether it's in Ubers, anywhere.
Yeah,
And I was even saying to her, wherever I want to rent or stay or whatever, for me, my concern is always, is there men? If the
yeah,
place has got men, I am not interested.
that's
I
right.
saw it has taken me to that point whereby I'm like, Who stays in this place? Who frequents this place? Do we have dodgy people coming to visit some people, even if maybe they're innocent? But
Yeah.
now, because of what is happening in this country, I don't trust men. Now imagine I'm a whole man, but I can't trust men myself as a man. So it has taken me to that place where I'm now very paranoid. I don't really look at a man and be like, he's just my brother, he's just a
Yeah.
friend.
I thought
I
I'm
look
the
at a
only one
man and
paranoid.
I question. No, all of us, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Trust me.
I've spoken to a lot of men with daughters. They don't trust other men.
Exactly.
They don't trust other men. I find it quite interesting and disturbing at the same time. Like,
It
okay,
is.
not
It
we
is.
do this thing of not all men are bad, but then at the same time we just can't trust. And we had a situation where this lady reported that she believed that her husband raped her own daughter, but this is her daughter she had before she got married. So social workers were called and they checked the girl. She was 15, and seems like the stepfather been raping her for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, since she
Yeah.
was 10. And the social workers decided to no. Before that, the lady say spoke about it that he has raped her, but if we report this, who is going to take care of me and our daughter, the other daughter that they have together, who is going to take
Yeah.
care of us? So that was her worry, like if he gets arrested. So I told him to um, run away. I told him to hide. This happened in Cape Town. And right, the social workers then came and decided to check the other daughter and found out that she also was raped.
Yeah.
The guy ran away, he's on
Yeah.
the run, nobody knows where he is. Now, it got me thinking. So, this woman was just, you know, thinking about her own upkeep, her own provision, what is going to happen to us, who is going to take care of me, who's going to take to pay the rent. So we do have women as well that we cannot trust because they are willing to overlook certain things as long as there are benefits. We also had a case in Zim
Exactly.
where that Queen Bee, whatever she calls herself, who said she was taking girls to these business people and politicians and they get paid.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she said, oh, they consent, so what? So it's not just men that we need to be paranoid about. There are other women who are willing to overlook certain things as long as the one there are benefits or they don't lose anything, or it's somebody who's close to us.
It's
You
true.
can take
It's
your
true.
your daughter to your own sister or to your auntie. What happens if the her husband molests your kid? Is it a kind of sister who go out there and talk about
And
it, or
speak
they're
up.
going to try to cover up?
Exactly. So you see that it's very difficult because the moment the child is out of your sight, you are so powerless. The child is so powerless. You don't know what's happening there because you don't know if something happens to her, whoever is her guardian at that time is going to be responsible enough to really speak up or they will protect the perpetrator. So that's
Mhm.
why I'm so jealous of my daughter to a point whereby I just want to be the one, me and her mother, being the ones who are really looking out after her because I don't trust anybody, whether it's the school, whether it's the crash, whether it's my sister, whether it's whoever. It's difficult to know how another human being who is not their direct parent is going to help in terms of protecting them. Because if you're the father, you know I'm gonna protect her at all costs. I'll make sure nothing happens to her. But now some people take these things lightly and
Yeah,
they don't realize how deep this whole GPV thing is, rape is. It's the smallest of moments. It's the tiniest of opportunities for these people. They just see a small moment, they get
yeah,
in. They don't wait for a big chance. Small chance, they're inside. And your daughter's life has been messed up. You know?
yeah. You, as a writer, how do you believe storytelling and literature can help shift attitudes and inspire real change? You've been writing a lot about GBV. and rape cases. How do you think this is helping out? Are there any positive results from your write-ups?
Okay, the hope and the plan is to really put it out there and make people realize that this is not fiction. This is authentic, this is real, this is happening. This could be you, this could be your daughter, this could be your sister. And let's really be vigilant. Let's fight it. Let's be men who are fighting it. The best way to teach someone or to put the message out there is by putting it in writing. I believe the more
Yeah,
we tell these real stories, the more
that's
people
right.
see that they are really happening. Because if we shy away from this controversial, because most people don't love writing about what I write about. Most people, I'm
Yeah,
sure, they will love writing about nice, whatever things. But I write about these things in a way to put it in the spotlight and make it something which is in their faces and say, hello, you are not living under a rock. Wake up,
yeah.
this is happening. And we need to really be abreast with the reality of the ground.
Yeah, that's right. I think you are doing really, really great. Just making sure that you write, and as we say, the internet doesn't forget. So as long as it is out there, somebody's going to read it. Whether 10 years, 5 to 10 years from now, they can just keep
Yes.
reading about it and know that Olorato was killed. They will know about that, and they will try and protect their children. But is there a way to shift all our mindset or using the laws to stop this? Is Do you see any positive impact maybe in the next 10 years that we wake up and there is no child rape? Do you see that future, and how do you think there is any possibility around that?
Trust me, I think it goes back to what we spoke about earlier, families,
Yeah,
communities. That's where it starts. That's where it's important. That's where we need to focus on. I think the police, they have a role to play. But now
right.
the problem with the police is they are more reactionary. Police, they react to a rape,
you're
they react
you're
to a
right.
murder. But we need to be proactive. And the only place for us to begin is by the families. If I am, as a father, I am a role model to my son, I am a role model to my family. I am a role model to my brothers and my brothers to their families. If we can start in that place as a village, I think we
Yes,
can slowly but surely get that place where we're teaching our boys the right things. We're teaching our boys that, man, it's not about being tough. You don't have to be aggressive to say, I am a man. You can be a man and still be able to protect and not be violent. So it begins in those spaces where we're talking as kids and as parents, as brothers. We are teaching each other, we are showing each other that as a man, you have to protect. You don't have to always punch, you don't have to always fight. So, from that basis, if we can get it right as families, as churches, as the society, I think that's where it is important. Get it right there, we should be fine as we go up. But if, as families, we are protecting thugs, protecting
yeah.
criminals, we are not talking about this thing. We are even more abusive to our partners. We are even more horrible to our partners. We are aggressive. We're bad role models. It's going to be difficult, trust me, because it's easy to teach someone something by showing them something, by showing them behavior, by portraying a way. In that manner, they will learn. It's not about teaching them by preaching. But the
That's
problem is
true.
we're a preachy society. We think going to church and sermons and teaching life orientation at school will help. It doesn't
Yeah.
help. It doesn't. If the behavior in our houses is rubbish, it doesn't help.
Yeah, so we have to go back to the basis, which is
Yes.
really going back to the family as the leader in the community. I remember growing up, we would go to our grandmother's houses, and we would sleep in sitting rooms, kitchens, like all cousins in one room. And it didn't matter. We were okay, we were
Yes.
kids, we were protected. In the
Yes.
villages, girls and boys would go and swim, would walk around naked. I mean, when we were still really young, there was no adult who would have any feelings. Yes, there were cases. That's not a lie. There were cases but they were not as high as it is now. Right now, just a girl to just walk around fully dressed, there are a lot of things
Something
that is
else.
going on. Yeah, there are men who are
But what do you
raping.
think?
Yeah, go ahead.
But what do you think is causing that, Matarenda? Why have we then changed from being that society which was then and now? What do you think has caused that change, though?
Yeah, this is a big one, and I think there are a lot of things at play here. We have moved away from who we used to be. When we used to be like Aboga Ncube, Aboga Shumba, we lived in a clan. You know, the clans back home. So you would
Yeah.
know this is my cousin, this is my auntie. So we protected each other. I remember coming from school. If any boy from another village or another clan would escort us as girls, they would beat the lights out of him. Well, we don't
Mm.
like violence, but they wouldn't want any outsider coming in. We were also not allowed to speak to strangers. Like nowadays, a guy would just pull a car and say to a 16-year-old, "Hi, can I give you a lift?" And she'll jump in.
Yeah,
So back
sure.
then, we were told to run. So I also think that due to a number of factors like migration and integration, there's quite a lot of things that got lost along the way. We are no longer, focusing on that. Then we also go to the mindset, pornographic mindset that we have right now. Most most of the young men, they watch all that porno. When they watch it, they want to experiment it. They want to go out there and do it. And there's also these beliefs, which are also cultural and traditional beliefs. If you sleep with a virgin, you sleep with a virgin, HIV is going to be cleared. You sleep with a virgin, you're going to get all the luck. That's
Yep.
what some people believe. If you watch, there's a documentary by Mary, a lady called Mary from Zambia, which is called I Mary. She lives with
Mhm.
albinism, and she was raped about 23 times since she was 9 years old, because those guys believed that um, a girl with albinism can clear their disease, which is HIV and AIDS. So they would just come and rape her, and parents didn't even know about it, you know. So those kind of beliefs are also the reasons why we are in this.
Yeah,
As
sure.
long as we have these beliefs and myth, more girls are really at risk of getting raped.
Risk. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also there's this thinking that that is centered around consent or no consent. There are some men who believe that if a woman say no, you should try harder, which I find it funny. They say women want you to keep on pursuing, keep on,
Yeah.
pushing. But when I say no, I say no. I
Yeah,
say
it's
no.
true. It's true. And I think it's another thing that we need to teach the boys. Um, Honestly, this will require us to talk for 3 hours, even more, because
Yeah.
trust me, trust me, there is a serious lack of education, in particular with what you just mentioned now, consent, and also what is rape and what is not
Yeah,
rape.
that's right.
People they'll tell things like, "No, she's my girlfriend. I'm entitled to have sex with her. She's my wife."
Yeah,
No, man, it's not about whether she is your partner or she's not. There is a very thin line between rape and consent. There is a very, very fine line. There is context. You need to have
yeah,
that context in mind. She could be my partner, but if she does not want me to have sex with her on a particular moment, on a particular day, and I
yeah,
force her to have sex with me, that is rape. So it's
that's
not to
right.
say rape is just me doing it with a stranger or whatever. It's context. So
Yeah,
that also is very, very important. And most of our young guys, most of the men in particular, they don't understand that. A man who is married can come from wherever he's coming from. He's drunk and he
yes,
just forces himself on his wife. And the wife says, "No, I don't want it. No." And the guy just goes there harder. And then he says to her tomorrow, "You are my wife."
yes,
You
you are
see?
my wife.
So this kind of things are a problem.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, you mentioned something about, educating the boy child. I think this is quite important, something that is really close to my heart, because this generation of young men, they didn't have uncles or
Yes.
fathers. Some of them don't have present fathers who actually teach them some of these things, passing on the stick. So we
Yes.
need to really educate these young men, talk to them about consent, our cultural behaviors, our traditions. We need to go back to the boy child indaba that used to happen back in the days. Uncles need to go back to playing their role in coaching and raising the boy child. It has to go back there. The women must play a very, very important role in this. We are the first coach to the boy child. We are the mothers. We also understand what women go through. We also understand what is not consent. But why are we quiet? Why are we silent? Why are we not getting involved? Why are we not talking to these boys to say, look, when
Exactly.
I walked away from your father, he was beating me. This is how he was treating me. I didn't like that.
Yes.
So you should not treat your woman this way. And as you look at me as a mother and want a wife who behave like me, please do not do this to your wife, because I also didn't like it about your father. So this is something that should not do. So if we come together as a community, men, women, the law, I think anybody who molests a girl child or a child should be hanged.
True.
Sorry to
True.
say this,
Because
but
we
yeah,
must take it seriously. No, it's true. You don't have to even be sore about it, because these people, when they're doing these things, they're not even sore about it. They go
yeah,
there and do the nastiest things. They don't even have a conscience. Why should we be apologetic
yeah,
about it? They
yeah.
might as well just be killed.
When we get to when somebody sees this happening, like 10 people have been hanged in my community because they raped kids, you think twice before you
It's a
do it.
message. It's going to
Yes,
be a message
but
to people.
also we should not kind of really push that much for it, because there is some people in the community who will be banning. I know a guy was banned in Limpopo, but it turned out that he had not raped that girl.
Yeah, that's the tricky part here. That's the tricky,
That's the
because in
tricky
as
part
much
of
as
it.
we are trying to really say, guys, stop doing this thing, guys, stop. There's certain people go out and then falsely accuse other people of raping. Those are really spanners in the work, because you
Yes.
are really hampering the efforts, hampering the work. We're trying to fight the thing, then you come with false accusations. It defeats the whole point.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Because of our time, we really have to go. I appreciate you being part of this, and again, happy Father's Day, and
Thank
keep
you.
well, keep protecting the girls, and our communities will be safer with men like you who keep on talking about this and finding ways to eradicate this scourge. Have a great day.
Thanks, Matarenda.
All right, thank you, bye.